Good morning, traders. Finally, after being deprived of a whole week of no news, we have a ton of news going into today. But it's also Thursday, and we've got some key sell side liquidity, buy side liquidity for price to reach. So let's see how price reaches those areas today, or if it reaches those before news or during news, how it reacts afterwards. For EURUSD, we've got this buy side liquidity that price has come into this week. And also we've got this buy side liquidity that price can potentially reach. We've maintained strong bullish order flow. See how price came up to this level previously, tapped into this fair value gap, this order block, and then pushed down, strong close below, which failed to maintain, continue lower. And then since then we've had bullish order flow coming in, which because of that I expect price to reach this high at least, or even these equal lows up here below these fair value gaps. On the daily time frame, we've closed above this high yesterday. However, we also came into a daily time frame fair value gap above those high and respected it. We've had very strong bullish order flow coming into that level, but it's also Thursday with loads of news out today, so I will be watching out and seeing how price plays out. Price came into that fair value gap and displaced. We've got a small displacement followed by a structure shift, and we also have fair value gaps that price can tap into and find some kind of resistance. But however, we also got this fair value gap that price can come into and find support. So right now I'm not really looking for a trade here, except I will see if we start seeing more displacement, then we've got a clear draw on liquidity. I do need to step out of my counter trend mindset because the momentum and the order flow on this is clearly bullish, right? We've got strong bullish momentum on all time frames because we took out liquidity yesterday above this buy side and then held this fair value gap. I think we'll get small retracement, so I'm trying to get into that trade, into that small retracement. However, should also be watching out for any bullish plays because we've got strong fair value gaps here that price can come and hold, especially with this order block right here. That's that for EURUSD. Also yesterday, because I was expecting price to reach this buy side liquidity, there was trading opportunities on the lower time frame that I took on EURUSD. This is something that I'm just testing out, and I took a trade. I saw price coming into this hourly fair value gap and hold initially. We also had this hourly order block below that fair value gap, right? And we also had this 240 fair value gap just below that order block as well. So these are all the key areas I was watching. I took a trade after the London session. Price pushed up, and I believe I entered slightly early. I entered on a pullback here when I should have waited for price to come down to and take out London low, especially during New York session. And I took a trade there. I had my stops down here, I had my targets up here. Price came and hit these highs where I took half of my trade off, and then I moved my stops. Actually, I think my stops was where I believe my targets was there, my stops were down here somewhere, and then I moved my stops closer to my entry after these highs were taken out, and then our price came down, took my low, tapped into that 240 fair value gap, and as it was tapping into that, I entered somewhere around here. But this is something new, and during this candle price was moving rapidly. I was not expecting at 3 o'clock with no news price to just come and run into that fair value gap. But because my overall bias was bullish, I still entered. I entered and got out straight away because I wanted more confirmation. And then I saw this candle. I think as that candle was printing, I entered somewhere around here with my stops. I gave myself room to breathe because I know every time I enter a trade and I don't give myself room to breathe, I start panicking. I would much rather just want to see the trade play out. And then after that, I just let the trade play out because I was very confident with my overall bias. All these choppiness, these were, price was going down, up, got down, up. It didn't really phase me as much, which is good to see because I was very confident with my bias. And that is a trend continuation trade on euro dollar that I was practicing, and it was good to see it play out live. Could have traded up to the fair value gap right there, but yeah, that's for later on. Pound dollar, we've also had strong bullish order flow. We've got news coming out for pound dollar as well. With pound dollar though, it has almost taken out the buy side liquidity, and it looks like it's getting there today. Daily time frame, and every single day this week has been bullish. I want to see that get tapped, that buy side liquidity tapped today, tomorrow. You've got that TGIF entry coming up potentially, so that's something to watch out for today and tomorrow. Or if you want to trade trend continuation, maybe you will see a small pullback today and trade up to that level. There you go. Even on the 4 hour, we've got strong bullish momentum coming up to those highs. We've also got these fair value gaps that price can tap into. Just before this, I don't know if this is a breaker or the block. Just above those, that ideally I think price can just tap into this 50% before going up. We'll see if we got any other POI on the 60-minute. Yeah, we've got a fair value gap. We've got another fair value gap. We had another fair value gap here. So that's price can come into the third one, tap into that, and push up. That'll be good to see because we've got Asian session right now. It could potentially be an accumulation happening, and then you see some kind of a manipulation and then distribution. And that's that for now. And then if it reaches these highs, then I will start looking for shorting opportunities. And that's that for today.